Yep. What's going on, everyone? It's a less than enthusiastic host today. Soccer is stupid. Nation League is dumb.
Is that how you coming in?
I'm annoyed, but that's fine. That's besides the point. I hope everyone's happy out there, man. I hope you guys are enjoying the football's back out. Real football's back. USL League One, the craziest league in all of soccer. Other leagues claim to be crazy, but they ain't as crazy as League One out here. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and is joining me today is someone that has been riding high on the Wolfpack sugar train. It's Miss Ev. How are you doing, homie?
I'm good. I'm chilling over here. I'm waiting for my boys to start. I got a lot of money betting on them, so I need them to do their part.
Yo, you a sicko. Like, when I found out people was betting on the U.S. Open Cup, Ed was the person who was like, oh, yeah, I'm buying a decent team. Like, what? Who says that?
I mean, it's pretty cheap. And with all the money that I'm collecting from all of these bets, it's been amazing.
How much have you betted so far?
I've only put in about $40 of my own money. But because it just came into North Carolina, it's been like all bonus bets. So I've gotten like $400 in bonus bet money. So I haven't used any of my own money since like the initial part.
That is so bad. They are trying so hard to get y'all to become degenerates down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
right now I've turned a profit, so that's good. I'm up like about 500.
I got people up here in Virginia hitting me up like, "Yo, who you got in Chattanooga and Brookville?" Like, what? What? Like, sir, if you don't go feed your family, like, what
Yeah,
you doing, dog?
yeah, man. Look, I've made some money off of some of these teams.
Oh,
The Bobcats got me $60.
we're going nowhere as a country quick. We're going
Where you
nowhere.
can bet on the Open Cup?
This
Yes.
is sad. This is totally sad. Um,
Oh,
yeah, we don't care that Crown Legacy lost. That's fine.
it's actually perfect for me. I'm a hater first. If you didn't know, oops. If you didn't know, I'm a hater first. And as a hater, fuck Charlotte. So Crown Legacy losing, perfect. And it's also because MLS shit the bed like just about the first day and today, really. So
Yeah. Nah, it's been bad.
happy.
It's been pretty bad. But y'all, man, we got a good show for y'all today. We're changed up the format a little bit. So normally, you know how we would go through game by game, talk about every game. We'll be here for hours on it. We're shutting that down because there are other podcasts that do a better job and are more weekly that can do that. So what we're doing are talking about some of the major points that are going on. So first of all, let's start off with the biggest game in the last 2 weeks. What was the best game that you watched the last two
uh
weeks?
in the last 2 weeks, it's probably gonna be Spokane versus Richmond.
Oh, okay. Okay. Why is that?
Um, just because we saw Spokane kind of get ran over by Greenville in that
Mhm.
first game, which, you know, I don't fault them for it. It was their first game ever. And we didn't really know what they were gonna do. But that 2-1 win over Richmond was kind of like cohesion a little bit. So I think it was big in the sense that we're finally seeing them start to put together some pieces that they were missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, I think the biggest game I watched was Fuego's road opener 2-1 win over Tormenta FC. It was the first
Oh,
time
that
we
was
got
so
to see
cool.
Jermaine Jones as head coach. Um, and look, I ain't gonna lie, I picked it right. I think it was my chaos pick, if I wasn't wrong.
It was one of yeah, I think
It was
so.
one of them. Yeah, it was one of them.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
red card that helps add to the chaos. I'm like, what the hell is
Trying to
happening?
tell y'all. But no, like I like what Fago did. They're a totally different team than what we saw last year. Jermaine Jones probably was right. He feels vindicated by letting mass of the players leave. Um, and the team looks good, even though I know they're just coming off of a loss. Well, a win technically, but a loss in the league. I like what's going on there in Fuego. I know they got the stadium capacity going on. I think it's like only 1,000 fans in the stadium. But outside of that, man, I like what Fuego's going on. Is there another game that you liked, or was that the only one?
No, the Fuego game was also one of my favorites, only because I personally said I'm rocking with Fuego because Fuego rocking with me, and everybody in the group chat looked at me like they were like,
Because
"You
you sold your
crazy?"
soul because they sent you some merch.
They didn't send me anything
I
yet.
thought they sent you merch.
Not yet. I am easily persuaded, but still, I am a Jermaine Jones truther, and I believe in what he's got going on there. I know this is very different than what I said the last time we potted, but whatever. I'm easily persuaded. I'm rocking with Fuego because they rocking with me, damn it. And that was a really good game.
Okay. All right. Yeah, those are the games. Let us know down in the comments what was your favorite game to watch over the last 2 weeks. Why was it? And let's say like best comment gets a sticker. Why not?
Oh, so best comment, I have to buy stickers. So I guess I'll use the winnings from that Open Cup game, and I'll go buy some
That way
stickers and
you
then I'll
don't
ship them.
throw. That way it becomes reasonable spending.
Okay. I can't pay for my vacation? No? Okay.
All
Fine.
right. So some of the bigger talking points that we got. Well, hold on. Let me hold off on that. Let's talk about Open Cup. So Open Cup started this week. It was round one. I would say this is the round where the USL League One teams come in, no championship teams, MLS Next Pro teams, boo, NISA teams, if they're allowed to play games, and a few amateur sides. Now, before we start this, let me say this. The next person, and I know it's a lot of MLS favorites out there that are saying this, the next person that comes out their mouth and complains about football lines on the field, or why they're playing on the amateur stadium, or why they're waiting for lacrosse. It is the quirkiness of amateur teams playing at home. Deal with it. You watch NYCFC play in a baseball stadium. You got 8 teams playing in NFL stadiums that they can't sell out. And you want to complain about a stadium that an amateur team that owns a burrito shop got to rent out? Get out my face. Enjoy the Open Cup and have fun with it. That's all I got.
If your team isn't being celebrated like the burrito Farolito team because you're lame and you decided that you wanted to pay for Lee's Cup instead of the Open Cup, we can't help you, okay?
No, you can't. We're not in the same group.
No.
Go home. We don't want you here.
Not watching the right soccer.
Right. Too busy playing Mexico and worry about Celtic playing them in a friendly. But remember, Eb, it's the schedule congestion that ruins everything.
To be fair, a lot of MLS teams took care of that when they crashed out of the CONCACAF bullshit thing they were doing. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, so this is what we got. We got Fort Madison with a 2-1 win over Duluth FC. We got Lexington with the upset loss, losing to Vermont 4-3. Tormenta gets by FC America CFL Spurs. That is a long name.
Hold on. Before you keep going, let's talk about Lexington, Vermont.
Hold on, we're gonna hold it. Because that's one of the talk points. We're gonna hold it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk because I got some. All right, next we got NOCO. They get a 4-1 win over Tulsa Athletic. Richmond gets a 1-0 win over Christos FC. One Knox wins in a derby game. I didn't know this was a derby game. It was pretty cool. Against Asheville City Soccer Club, 2-0. Greenville 1-0 over South Carolina United Bantams. I'm trying to make sure. Oh, Spokane 1-0 over Battle FC. Late winner there. Pretty nice goal, not gonna lie. Pretty nice goal there. We got Chattanooga, who were 2-2 against Broxton FC United. That game is currently overtime, so we don't know the end result of that game right now. Charlotte gets a 2-0 win over, I'm going to butcher this name, Verentinga Itzenberg? Words. Union Omaha gets a delicious 4-0 win over West Massachusetts Pioneers. And I believe that is everyone. Am I missing anyone out?
Not
Oh,
that I.
Fuego gets a 2-0 win over Folsom.
Oh,
There we go. El Fuego Pop was probably yelling at the ear. I'm sorry, El Fuego Pop. I wasn't trying to forget y'all. So there we go. Those are the Open Cup results. Any Open Cup results outside of Lexington that surprised you, Ev? Any team that played well, that didn't play so well?
That Ballard game.
Oh, I was rooting for Ballard. I'm not gonna lie.
I was rooting for Ballard. Like I love Spokane, but Ballard was the better team.
They were.
And they looked good. And that's a crushing way to lose, unfortunately, but
It is. It is. And I swear I thought Ballard was gonna hang on. Get into extra time and maybe stress Spokane out a little bit more, but Spokane, late game heroics came out big there. Richmond versus Crystals. I was at that game last night. It was a fun game. It was I wouldn't say a rivalry game, but it's a game that Richmond kind of wanted revenge for. I think the biggest talking point in that game is the injury bug is definitely catching up to Richmond. Tony Pineda went down around the 78th minute. Richmond's out now with Emmy, Tony. Who else? Oh, I just saw the list. Ani, Gao, and Zhao. So they're down 5 key players. And it's going to be important how Darren can kind of turn around that injury bug. I think the other key game that was real interesting and obviously leads to our first talking point. Lexington Soccer Club loses to Vermont Green 4-3. But truly, it was 4-1 at one point.
It was, yeah. It was. There was a streak going for Vermont that they were 4 for 4 on corner kicks.
Yeah,
and then they finally missed one. Yeah, it was not a close game, but you could tell that Vermont was a League 2 team as the game went on, and they got tired, and they were getting tired very quickly after like the 75th, and then they came in and did their thing. So it wasn't like Vermont couldn't put up more goals, honestly. They could have went up 5, 6, and they just were missing. Like, I believe there was a point where where one of the players was in on goal by himself, and all he had to do was chip it, and he missed.
Yeah.
And then there was one where he literally was also, again, clear in, and he went wide left. And I was like, gosh, that's gonna come back to haunt you. And then and then Lexington came back, and it was 4-2, and then it was 4-3, and they almost got that equalizer at the very end. But also that game was just insane because they called for full time 3 times.
What?
Yeah, so he calls for full time, and then he's like, actually, JK, it's a throw. And then he calls, and then they call it again, and there's players over where the supporters are, and they lit a flare, and the players and fans had come onto the field to celebrate, and then he was like, nope, free kick again. Like, so he did it 3 times, and then finally he was like, all right, we can end it now. It was insane. That game was
just wanted to have fun.
Right, at that point, I'm like, all right, you are doing a lot, but I guess we'll go for it. But that game was fun. I watched a lot more on the first day than yesterday. The Austin FC 4-0 SC game was crazy. Austin goes up 2-1 with a backheel audacity pass, and then the player scores. And then they score at the death at the last kick of the game to tie it up 2-2. There were some terrible PKs taken, but in the end, 4-0-1. And then these are all cup sets, by the way. These are lower league team. Like, it was all just amazing. But yeah, and then obviously you won 1-0. Omaha took care of business, and they cruised. So
yeah, Omaha is looking so good right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to bet on Omaha right now, they look good.
Not bet on Omaha. I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, let's because oh man, betting has gotten insane. Why are we betting on Open Cup games?
Because this country is dog shit, and we
Yeah.
shouldn't be betting on stuff like this. There you
It's crazy.
go. I'm just gonna put that out there. All right. So we're talking about it. Lexington, right? Lexington was one of the early season favorites. There, a lot of people probably had them picked. I want to say in the top three. They made big money additions. They signed key players back. Hasn't been the best of starts. I don't.
And I'm calling it because I
Okay.
said in my predictions, I was like, Lexington they're gonna struggle because of Lancaster. And that yellow card he got out of frustration in the Open Cup game is only helping prove my point.
Let's
So
talk about it.
I'm
Let's talk about it.
like, he's a really good player, and like someone with whenever we last recorded, someone was arguing me down. We've got 10 plus people like that are all scored 10 goals and blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's great. But the minute there's a cancer in the locker room and things aren't going your way and Lancaster has to be the big man, it's not going to work.
So my bigger frustration with Lexington is they have people that can finish. It's the lack of creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably say I've watched a decent amount of Lexington over the last 3 games. The 1-0 win over Chattanooga was they were lucky to get by. I always feel like that game should have been a draw. Well, Chattanooga actually had 2 bites at the crossbar, so it could have been a draw. Honestly, it should have been. The first game, which was a disappointing result, and the U.S. Open Cup game, which it kind of felt like they kind of took, not want to say took it for granted, but they were caught off guard by the moment. But Vermont Green were definitely up for it, so that was always a difficult place to go play in. But it's just constantly over and over again. It just felt like the lack of creativity. Like they don't have anyone in that midfield that can create. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't see anyone in that midfield that I'm like, all right, he's the assister. He's the guy that's going to create. He's going to create the opportunities for them and pull apart the attack. I don't see that from them. And right now, I don't know if it's early days or anything, but that is concerning, honestly.
So looking back at their first game, which was Hailstorm, they played a 4-1-4-1.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't look good, right? Like I don't know if it's the formation or what, but there, like you said, there's really nothing happening. Everybody wants the ball, but nobody knows how to get the ball there. They've got 1-6 sitting back who's I guess supposed to be the distributor.
Yeah.
But that's not really working for you. Let's go back to the game versus Red Wolves. You changed it up a bit. 4-2-3-1. You got a goal finally, but all you did was just like move a player back, and I guess he was your star, but you still didn't really create anything. And then you let Lancaster run against a very tired Vermont after they did all the scoring for the first 50 minutes of the game. They controlled that game. Like there's no denying that. You took possession towards the second half. Like you had a lot more of the possession, but you didn't have any of the big scoring chances.
No.
Like Lexington, you had all the possession. 65% to 35% in that Vermont game. But they still capitalized way more than you.
Yeah.
You were almost even a shot. Yeah.
Leave it down in the comments. What's your thoughts on Lexington right now? For real, I would say this. Like, I think the part of Lexington, you can kind of look at the stats about it. Like that, so far it's early on, and not a lot of teams have played the same number of games. But right now, Lexington are averaging like the 6th most accurate passes in the league right now. They're 12th in long balls and 8th in crosses at 2.5. So they're like telling me they're like, all right, there's obviously problems in build up. They're having problems getting the ball forward to their lethal part. Because the thing about Lexington is that we've all been told and we've seen with our own eyes is like they have wouldn't say a golden generation attack, but they have a strong attack, right?
Yeah.
And right now, you have a good attack. I would say their defense is about average, is capable. I think you have a good, solid goalkeeper in the Mill Knight. I think I would put him maybe fourth best goalkeeper in the league right now. Third, maybe. You make that argument between him, Nuhu, and Delgado. Alviza and Knight probably are interchangeable. It depends on who you feel. But I think the part of Lexington that is struggling is that midfield. And I just feel like it's going to take time. Like, I don't know if they address it by bringing in a creative player there, someone that can carry the ball forward and distribute it off to strikers, but they need something. And maybe it's also like a formation change. Like, I think you said they play like a 4-4-2, right? Or what was it?
So in the first game, they played a 4-1-4-1, and then they went into the Chattanooga game, and they played a 4-2-3-1, and then versus Vermont, they lined up in a 4-4-2.
So honestly, what I'm thinking is maybe you got to switch this up. Maybe go 3-5-2, like go 3 in the back, 5 across, and 2 up top. And
so we're going from no midfield to like a very congested midfield within 3 games. You've done that's 3 different. So my biggest concern is you've done 3 different lineups with 3 different. You've done 3 different formations with 3 different lineups.
Yeah,
and you still haven't really done a lot with it. So where are you going to get what are you going to finally land on? Like, is this your chance to like truly test yourself and like try all the formations until you land on one? Because if so, wasn't that what your preseason was for? Why are you doing it now when you have? And I literally just talked about this on my other pod.
Yeah,
we like NCFC has put out 2 lineups with 2 different formations and 2 different lineups, and there's no cohesion. So how do you expect these players to figure out how they want to work the midfield if you're not going to put a consistent lineup out? You've had 3 games to do it and you haven't yet. What were you doing in preseason to get to this point?
Because you look the best attack in the league, Ab.
But the attack ain't done shit. That's like saying Ohtani hit 3 home runs and the Dodgers lose 8-3. Like, what are we
doing? They ain't care.
But like, y'all ain't got Angels money, and you definitely ain't got Angels attendance. So what are you doing to get butts in seats now? So I'm trying to figure out, how are you gonna present this team for your next game? Because Lancaster scored 2, but you lost 4-3.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's something I think Lexington got to fix. They got to get it together quickly. Looking at the schedule right now, I want to say, if I'm looking at it correctly,
so I mean,
they
got Knoxville this Saturday.
Yeah. Knoxville, Greenville, Tormenta, Spokane. I think they might have a break or something after that, but they need one quickly.
After Spokane,
they need to get it fixed.
So in my predictions, I had said that Lexington was going to be hot in the beginning because they were going to lose Diouf.
Yeah.
But at the middle of the year to a team that really needs him to either like championship or MLS Next Pro team. But they are proving me wrong. They are not hot now, and if they can't get hot now, and then they still lose him, it's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, it is. It is. Fans, let us know what your thoughts about Lexington. Let us know. Next up, we got Spokane. Spokane is a team that I would say are decent. There's no disrespect to Spokane Soccer Show. I know they get the trash coat out there and everything like that. Much love to them. But Spokane won their home opener against Richmond 2-1. A disappointing road loss to Greenville, which was 3-1, and then a very, very, very close U.S. Open Cup win against Ballard there. So Spokane, How are we feeling about them? Because I feel like this is a team that's they're getting away with luck, but there's nothing wrong with that right now until they can figure it out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm still out on Spokane because
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out like what parts I like about them.
Mhm.
And again, that like this is really no shade. Like I just don't know enough about how you're trying to play, um, because at the same again, looking at what you've produced, have you had the same lineup?
Mm.
I,
I want to say I think they've had mostly the same lineup.
so
I
there's
don't
a
think the
four.
formation has changed much, if I'm not mistaken.
Um, no, they have stayed with the same formation. So
Okay.
they are consistently a 4-2-3-1 type of team.
Yeah,
Um, and they have scored in every game that they have
that
played
is
in.
true. As much as
So
I try to dominate, they have scored in every game, unlike Lexington.
yeah,
Um, yeah, they're hard to make out right now. Like you were saying, like I don't know what the idea is attacking wise, just because we haven't really seen it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like the Richmond game, they scored off of a set piece and a cross that ended up being a goal. Like if you give that guy 9 times out of 10, he's not making that again. I don't care. That was the whole look. That was the soccer guy saying, "All right, we're just gonna push this in the goal for y'all to get this home victory." The Ballard game, set piece, the Greenville game, penalty. So we really haven't seen them build up and create a goal yet.
yeah.
I
Because
don't
honest,
know.
like I
Oh,
said,
go for it. Go.
Ballard like was very much the better team that game. So
Yeah,
I can't really say if they're like what they're gonna look like going forward. I would love to see the forwards get a little involved a little bit more.
yeah,
Obviously that's a little hard. Um, we've got 3 games to sample it off of a team that just started this year. So
yeah. No,
am I supposed to
honestly,
have faith in them or I don't know yet. Uh,
um, I think it's. I don't see nothing wrong because right now, I mean, if you look at it, like they won at home, you got the U.S. Open Cup win, which is huge, and I think after that, like you wanted to see, like, all right, can this team build from there? Um, Luis Gill has been very good so far. I think Dobb has been good as well. I think and also the goalkeeper. His name is escaping me. He's been pretty good so far. I think the thing about Spokane that I'm kind of hesitant on a little bit is their back line and them just receiving the ball under pressure. How do they navigate those moments when they're getting backed in? Because against Richmond, like, yeah, Richmond was overcooking some crosses, but they were getting them in the right spots. They were having opportunities of backing down Spokane, and Spokane was getting trouble getting out of their own half. We saw that same thing against Greenville, who were a little bit more lethal, being able to keep Spokane down in their box and they created chances of creating turnovers, creating more and more havoc. You know, can that cause problems for Spokane going forward, which would be interesting to see. By the way, Chattanooga is now winning 4-2 with less than a minute left. So, congrats to the Red Wolves. They're moving on to the next round of the Open Cup.
I mean, I hate. I'm a hater first, so the whole state of Chattanooga, of Tennessee,
The
can
whole
fall.
state.
The whole state. That's the way I live my life. I'm a hater first. I will always be a hater first.
I feel you. But yeah, your thoughts on Spokane?
That was it. I want to
Okay.
see a little bit more. I want to see like at least 3 more games before I say, oh, this team is trash.
Yeah.
Play the kids and call it a season. I feel like it's a little early for that, but uh, hopefully, they get they get some goals out of it. I mean, they're already scoring a goal a game. It looks like, um, so we know they're good for at least one.
Yeah. But they're also giving up a few goals.
Yeah, that's that
Sure.
too.
And that happens. Yeah. So by the way, I'm not gonna do power rankings this year, Ab. I'm gonna do cool kids table rankings.
Okay.
So we're gonna have how many teams we got? At least 12. So I'm gonna have 4 tables ranking each kid from coolest to weirdest. And there's my lovely African American friend. Hey Kyle,
Hello.
look at this man.
I made it finally.
God damn. What, you smoking a pack a day?
What?
Oh,
What-
darn it.
What do you mean?
I want to be Kyle the feature. Look at this man. Returning from Toronto. Those glorious locks. That beautiful
Oh, wow.
African American skin.
What
That's
have
a
I missed?
Man that went to a country that has Canadian bacon.
Canadian bacon is fake. Fuck that.
It is ham, but
It is.
whatever.
It is.
You know what? I had a good time. I enjoyed it. There's poutine. There was Jamaican restaurants. There was Thai restaurants. There was a whole co-op takeover. It was a wild time in Toronto.
I believe it. I believe it. Also, shout out to our guy, Chris, real quick. We wish you the best in recovery. We know you've been going through hell, through hot water, man. Get healthy, my guy. Get healthy. Come back even stronger. Take time to recover, my man. We know you're holding things down there in New Mexico, but just take time to get healthy, all right? Kyle, so I don't know if you've been watching the pod from behind the scenes, but really we're just talking about the next thing we're about to talk about was Fuego and how are they playing so far under Jermaine Jones? Things that we like, things that we want to see out of. So far, we talked about Spokane and Lexington,
Okay.
but with Fuego, I'll toss it over to you. How do you think they've been playing under Jermaine Jones so far? So far, they played 3 games, got a good win over Tormenta. I would say even, not a disappointing loss to Uyoma, probably a hard earned loss, if you want to put it that way, and a decent U.S. Open Cup win. So how have they played so far there, Mr. Jones?
I think it's one of those where I figured they would be better. Like they would just be better and look better under Jermaine Jones. I think what I've been most shocked in is more the aspect of how they've gone about it, because I wasn't sure what the hell to expect out of Tormenta. Out of Fuego. I was like, I don't know what this plan. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what the strategy is. I don't know their players. But then you watch and it's like they didn't have much possession against Tormenta, but a lot of that was because they scored early, and because of that, like they scored in the 3rd minute. So it's kind of like they didn't have to. Tormenta had to be the one to try and impose themselves in the game. But if you look at all the stats, like they're even in shots, pretty even defensively, higher tackle rate, more tackles. And I think it's kind of what we expected, a team that is going to play hard and defend much better. I think that was the biggest standout this year so far, as opposed to last year. Last year, it just seemed like they didn't have any cohesive plan with the defense, like making that transition from defense to attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems as though that's starting to show. I mean, when you have Carrera Garcia, when you have Espinoza, when you have a couple guys that can do that, and Jason Ramos has been a rock for them at the back. No, I think I've been pleasantly surprised at how Fuego's doing. Like, I still think they're going to probably lurk more near the bottom of the table than kind of like a mid-table or playoff team. But if you're a Fuego fan, you at least have to be more. You have to at least feel like, okay, there actually is a plan. Like they actually seem to want to do, like they have a vision. And that was what we were talking about last year. It's like, what is their vision? What are they trying to do? And right now the vision seems to be more of we're going to be gritty defensively. We're going to try and make sure to catch teams on a counter and go in and play a little bit more direct. And I think that's kind of the thing we've seen out of them. And like I said, I've been impressed.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a good one. I know you're just coming back getting some water. We're talking about Fuego, how they played under Jermaine Jones. What you think so far?
I'm very hype for this team. I'm rocking with Fuego because they're rocking with me. That's my new slogan. It's my new slogan.
There you go. All right.
I mean, no, so for real, they are interesting. They're a Spokane that I feel like we know what this team is, but we really don't, because Jermaine has come in and just kind of like blown it all up.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of game, new season, new them than it is like for Spokane. So I want to see like 3 more games, and then I'll be like, okay, for real this time. I'm rocking with Fuego.
Yeah. I would say for me personally, I think if you're a Fuego fan, I think the Tormenta game was probably the best game for you. Like it's the result that you want to let you know, like, okay, we made the right hire and we got the right players in. Because you go to Tormenta, and get me wrong, Tormenta might be a little bit weaker side in USL League One right now. You know, a lot of new parts moving in. But for you to go there, get a good 2-1 victory, and then you go to Union Omaha, and granted, you lose that game 1-2, but that game more so is about Union Omaha being above everyone else than Fuego being bad. And then you get a US Open win on top of that. Like, I think that's probably the best start you want as a Fuego fan. Like, you know, I think if this team can ride out this wave of momentum, yeah, you'll have your downturns come. But I think if you can ride it out, like, why not? Like you mentioned, kind of like Mo Espinoza has been playing brilliant so far. Carlos Avisa finally looked like he's in a place where he has a capable defense in front of him that can help him, you know. And outside of that, like, you got guys on top who can create chances. Granted, they're chaos chances, but hey, they're chances. So yeah, man, I would say right now, like, Fuego is one of those sneaky good teams that I'm cool with watching them. I'll put it like that. Like,
they kind of remind me of last year's Lexington, where it's like, I don't know if they're gonna win. Like, winning might not be on the docket for them, but they will at least be entertaining to watch.
I agree with that. Like, it's no longer like the 10:30 game where, like, you're only watching the game because your team is playing in it. You're kind of like, all right, let me see what's going on now. That's where I'm at with Fuego. Like, let me pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 teams. So now let's talk about our vibes and chaos picks. I just want to say I was right when I picked mine. So y'all better come correct this time. Just want to say that. I was, Ev. Don't even look like that. I was right.
All right, so the games for
doing this podcast because Jamaica disappointed me. So
all right, so for vibes and chaos for this weekend, we have Kickers versus Tormenta, One Knox versus Lexington, Triumph versus Madison, and Spokane versus Hailstorm.
Ooh.
So what is your vibes game?
Spokane and NoCo.
Really? Okay.
Feel like, and granted, NoCo went basically like a whole. They had the week off in week 2, so they didn't play week 2. Then they have their Open Cup game, pretty easy win against Tulsa Athletic, and now they're gonna have to go on the road, play Spokane, who's probably feeling on a high, where they come off a winner against Richmond at home, they win in the last minute in the Open Cup. Like, they're probably feeling good right now, and it's going to be at their stadium. Hopefully, it's another sellout over there. I think it's like a sneaky, based on these 2 teams and how they want to play. I think it can be a sneaky vibes option. And it's like at 9:00 and it's like late. So it's like, well, maybe we'll get some USL after dark. I don't know.
Doesn't that lead more to chaos than anything?
No. Well, the problem is I feel like I know what the chaos match is, and it's just not going to surpass it.
There's only one.
What's your vibes, Yogi?
My vibes game, if I'm being a neutral, which I always am when it comes to USL League One, I'm going Tormenta Madison. That's my vibes game.
Wait.
No, Tormenta plays Kickers and
no, my fault. Damn, not Tormenta.
Tormenta Madison was last week.
I know, my fault. Greenville Madison. There we go.
Is your vibes?
Yeah, that's my vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my vibes. Like, if we had national TV, that's the game we'll be at. I feel like that was going to be good. Chaos. It's the only game that's Derby this week, man. That's a legit Derby. One Knox, Lexington.
Yes.
I feel like both teams truly need to win this game, and that's very hard to say since it's so early on in the season. I think One Knox has only played one game so far this year.
One
Yeah.
league game, one cup game.
Yeah. And Lexington has played 3 so far. Before you hopped on, Kyle, we talked about Lexington and where they are right now. I feel like they need a good showing. Like they need a good showing and a good win. One Knox, the jury's still out. I want to see a little bit more. Do we know if Jalen Crisler's red card translates to the league?
It shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So he'll be available for this game coming up.
How did we all have different vibes games, but the same chaos? Because my vibes is kickers. My vibes is kickers Tormenta.
So that's the game you throwing on, like to show. Because remember, like
That was Kickers Tormenta was like second for chaos because I feel like I don't know what the fuck either of these teams are gonna do because I am not convinced by Tormenta. Tormenta, I don't know if you guys saw it. Tormenta looks bad. And were it not for Madison not being clinical, Tormenta is starting the season with 2 straight losses to start the year. I'm not like Tormenta looks like the worst team.
Which is
But
why
Richmond didn't
I
look good against
thought.
Spokane either.
Which is why I thought Richmond would cruise to a 2-0 win. But and then
I had Richmond
chaos.
and Tormenta more vibes than chaos.
No, that's my vibes game. I said Richmond Tormenta's vibes, but my chaos was always Knoxville Lexington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my vibes games is like this is the game that like all right. If USL League One comes to us, which they should, because we have great opinions about a lot of stuff, and be like, all right, what's the game that we need to put on main TV to attract more fans?
That's chaos.
I'm not picking Kickers Tormenta.
Yeah,
that's if you're
I love
asking.
Richmond, but if my job depends on it, we going to Greenfield Madison this week, folks.
No,
I would say
Spokane.
Spokane. I'd be like, no, you gotta go to Spokane. You're gonna have a
that's
potentially sold out
two
stadium.
different things. That's 2 different things, though. What game should they put on TV? Yeah, that's Greenville. What game are you putting on to just vibe with for the night? Nice background noise. You look up and you're like, oh, it's 2-0. Okay, cool. That's my Kickers Tormenta. If you're trying to put chaos,
No,
Knoxville.
there's only one game for chaos.
All right, but
Right.
look, we know what chaos is. Chaos is when the unexpected is expected.
I want 3 red cards, 6 goals.
Oh, we getting
You're not
punches.
getting 6 goals. You're not getting
Yeah,
6
you're
goals.
not getting-
Not in this
But you're
game, but
getting a
like in
fist.
general. Like
I put 5 on it right now. We get a fist throw.
I'd say one hard studs up tackle.
one
Yeah.
one crunchy tackle. Okay.
One crunching tackle that leads to shoving. I don't think there will be any punches. There's going to be shoving.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Lancaster's on that team. There will be a punch. There will be a punch. He tried to fight a ref in an Open Cup game because he was
Look,
mad.
that's Open Cup. If you're not trying to fight a ref in Open Cup, what are you doing?
Raise your class it up.
Like, come on, y'all. Like,
Look, what happens in the Open Cup does not apply to 99% of anything else.
Oh, and this is another thing. Podcasters, please stop complaining about the refs. We know. We know.
Like MLS is using replacement refs. What do you think USL League One is going to get?
Like, we know. These guys work in rec league. Like, they trying.
I'm trying.
They trying. All right. These are the substitute teachers that are like, yo, I just need like 10 more hours for my license.
No, we don't have substitute. We have the substitutes of the substitutes.
Yeah, man, honestly. Maybe we treated refs better, we would get better, refereeing. But that's another conversation for another day. Much like teaching. We also got so this is the first we got so far this year. We got Thursday and Friday night football. We got Charlotte taking on Spokane Friday night, Lexington versus Greenville, Fuego versus Madison. And then Saturday, we have Knoxville versus Tormenta, Chattanooga versus Union Omaha. So week starts a little bit earlier with the round of football there. Any games there that stick out to y'all?
Let's see.
Why are we playing football on Thursday? What are we doing playing soccer on Thursday? Why?
Easter, I guess. I don't know.
Thursday
Easter.
night football, baby.
Stop it.
Jesus takes priority, I guess.
Yeah. Thy Lord and Savior.
Ugh.
saving goals and saving lives. Hallelujah.
Oh my god.
He has which team is gonna put a he has risen tweet?
Charlotte. Charlotte. 100% Charlotte. 100% Charlotte.
It's just gonna have Austin Pack, and they're gonna put him in a Jesus garb and say he has risen. And if he makes,
I'm getting off this podcast.
yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be Charlotte.
gonna
Match
go
I'm
with
looking for.
Charlotte.
Okay. Knoxville Tormenta could be one of those where, depending on how Knoxville Lexington goes, that could be a true. Depending on how these teams go this weekend, that could be a loser hits the panic button.
3 games into a season and we're hitting
Look,
panic buttons.
if Tormenta loses this weekend to Richmond, and you go into that next match, and if Tormenta starts the season 4 matches and no wins, panic button.
I mean, you can say that about Lexington.
I know my birthday twin Cream Lex isn't gonna like to hear this, but if they look bad against who they play this week, if they look bad in the Derby, and then you flip that, they look bad against Greenville. We might have to have that conversation with Lexington. It might be time.
Might be literally a month into the season.
Look, for the team that everyone was penciling.
I disagree with Kyle that we're gonna have to talk about Tormenta panic button, because I think Tormenta's a little bit more expected. Like they already came in,
but still to go 4 matches on a win, start your year.
Okay, who do you think will be more under panic, given the hype around them? Lexington or Tormenta?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like Lexington was everyone's pick to win the league. So yeah, if Lexington doesn't look good, that's a panic. Tormenta, though, while we expected Tormenta to struggle, they've looked bad. And that's and considering everything that happened last year and a certain player talk about the coach, and now it's like, wait a minute, were you onto something here? Probably not, because that same player has left like his 8th team in Brazil. But there's a lot of, I don't know.
I'm just saying, man. I think
but no, if Lexington struggles again, they are a candidate for a panic button. I agree.
If we come back in 2 weeks, I have more faith in Lexington reaching for that panic button than Tormenta.
Ooh. The panic button derby, April 6th. Tormenta versus Lexington.
Oh my word. Okay.
Oh man. Yeah, that's the real game. That's gonna be fun. All
right, but for real, the other match I am intrigued about the following week. I think Chattanooga, Omaha. I feel like those teams always have some hostility when they play each other.
The last 3 been good. You got a 2-3, a 2-1, and a 3-3.
So I think this is one of those where I feel like we'll get a better idea of like, okay, how improved was Chattanooga? Because they were better than Lexington this past Friday. They just didn't have the result to show for it. So then it'll be interesting to see, are they going to, and then they'll have this week off after, did they lost their Open Cup, or did they pull out the win?
Chattanooga?
Yeah.
They just won 4-2.
Okay, because I knew it went into extra time. I knew they had the player get sent off or whatever, but I didn't know. But yeah, so Chattanooga will have this weekend off and then come back, play Omaha, who also will have the week off after their Open Cup. So it'll just be interesting. That I feel like they always have good matches.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. When do we get the Open Cup draw?
There's still another. Is there one more day of game? No, this is the last round.
This is the last day.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's look it up.
And for those that care, Panama and Mexico are still tied.
Good.
I need my parlay to hit, so come on, Panama.
Oh my God.
I'm tired of USA Mexico.
I am too. That's why I said USA Panama.
I wanted Jamaica, Panama. But the way how it's going, it looked like we're going to get that in the third place game.
I mean, we'll have to figure out what the draw is like after. Like, it'll have to be this weekend because the next round is like the week of April 2nd and 3rd. Like, it'll be like 2 weeks. So
I think they probably. I mean, honestly, I think they probably do the draw tomorrow to at least give teams time to travel. Because how does it break down? Because everyone that won this round will play each other next round, and then after that, you get the USLC teams and the MLS leftovers.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll see how this is gonna go. Yeah, I don't know either. Eb, anything else from you before we wrap up?
No, just go Wolfpack. That's all.
Yeah,
I
we
need.
gotta get Eb out of here so she can watch her team.
I feel like I'm gonna cry no matter what, but either way,
I mean, you already won. You got the ACC, so
yeah.
You done good, Chuck.
I just expected Wisconsin to lose, and I'm just accepted that fate, and it's fine.
Hey,
and I know we've been talking about gambling a lot, by the way. So, it is like I know we're all joking about it in good fun, but if you have a problem with gambling, there's resources out there. I have to throw that in every time.
Promote gambling. If you have to tell someone, use 1-800-GAMBLING if you have an issue with gambling. But hey, this is prop bet.
Yeah,
shouldn't be thrown against.
Look,
it's like telling crackheads, "Hey, you want this crack? But we have rehab centers."
Look. We understand that Shohei Ohtani had to fire his interpreter for putting all these bets. By the way, this post has been sponsored by BetGM.
Hey, ESPN Bet's running a good promo right now. All I'm saying.
ESPN Bet was literally Sports Nation, which was a good show that they ruined.
Yes, they did. But
that's besides the point. As always, everyone, we want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day for listening to our show, because without you, we couldn't do this. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the latest storylines, the latest updates. Will Lexington be in trouble? Will Tormenta be in trouble? Will Richmond injury bug crisis go away? Will Madison be able to be more clinical in front of goal? Who knows? We'll see you in 2 weeks and we'll chat about it. Hopefully by then we have the whole cast of characters, be some more US Open Cup drama. And as always, make sure to tip your stripper on your way out. Have a good night, everyone.